world's weirdest restaurants takes you to the Ukraine to chew the fat in a gallery of lard. You know, when I have my cardiologist over for dinner, this is the dish I'm gonna make him. Then we'll cruise to California, where one man's trash is another man's restaurant.
This is my home, so mi casa es tu casa.
Then we take off to Thailand, where the chef is broadcasting chart-busting hits.
Good morning, Bangkok. Goodness gracious, great bowls of fire.
And travel to Tennessee to grind an axe over Southern cuisine.
Them are the best eating ribs you ever had.
Man, I'm gonna tear through this like a chainsaw in a tree trunk. The Salo Museum restaurant here in the Ukrainian city of Lviv, they put pig fat on a pedestal. And I mean that quite literally.
Salo is a Ukrainian word for pig fat, and you can find it in all the food and art in this restaurant.
Now, that's my kind of modern art.
I created the Salo Museum and Restaurant because there is nothing else like it in the world. I am the only man in the world crazy enough.
I think North Americans would be kind of surprised and disgusted with all the pig fat, but we love it.
At the Salo Museum, art made from pork fat doesn't just line the walls, but also the menu. I'm gonna totally pig out.
Thank you. I love this. With every dish, you get a Salo sculpture.
Everything here is a work of art, including the food.
I'd like to try the Brave Soldier, Van Gogh's ear, Salo sushi. And to finish it all off, I'd like some of those Salo chocolates. We're one floor below street level, and when you walk into the reception area, you're greeted by this installation, which is a collaboration between several artists, and it's designed to pump Salo through the veins of the entire restaurant. Nestled in this tiny room is this control center. Here is where they control the flow of Salo through the arteries. And I'm cranking this baby up to 10, because I am hungry. Oh, thank you, chef. You have beautifully caramelized pork chops, cabbage, potatoes, and a bust made out of Salo. And let's just be clear about this. This Salo bust, it's not just a garnish, it's part of the meal. We all know that everything's better with butter, and if it's better with butter, it's way better with pork fat. Oh, this is delicious. The chef has basted this pork chop with a miso glaze. You got this nice crust, you get the beautiful color. There's a real sweetness to it. I can't think of anything better to accompany a half-pound of lard. Quick crash course in making Salo here. So as you can see, the chef is starting with this big chunk of pork fat. It's still got its skin on it, little bits of meat, and this has been cured in a salt brine. All right, so he's peeling the skin off and saving it to make a football with. I added that part. And also, oddly enough, trimming off the bits of meat, as opposed to what we normally do, which is trim off the pieces of fat. And now he's pressing it through this grinder, and what started as one solid chunk of pork is now very spreadable.
Once the mold is filled with fat, it's warmed in the oven. Then after being cooled, the mold is peeled off, and your favorite fathead is ready to eat.
Salo is very important in this country. Every Ukrainian eats fat.
It's hard to say it's like healthy, but it's very delicious.
Brave Soldier Schweik.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. So this is the character, Schweik?
Yes, it's character Schweik.
And who is he?
He's a soldier.
I don't even need to tell you this is weird. You know it. Whole pig's knuckle roasted, served up with a slab of pork fat, some sauerkraut, and some pickles. A little slab of General Schleck's hat, sauerkraut, and little bits of pork, but it's fried up. It's sort of the sauerkraut equivalent of fried rice. Just about the only thing that can rival this much pig fat is a behemoth pork knuckle. This has been slow roasted. The meat is juicy. It's absorbing all the flavors off the bone. You know, when I have my cardiologist over for dinner, this is the dish I'm gonna make him. What exactly were you going for here in the restaurant?
You know, we wanted to make not just a restaurant, but we wanted to create a place about art.
Over here, you have a video installation of pork-inspired films projected, if you're ready for this, on an enormous slab of fat.
It is the only place in the world where can you see sculptures made from Salo.
This particular installation is my favorite piece in the whole place. It's called Boars at the Forest Edge, Part 2, and it's made from the skin and hair of wild boars.
Gogh's ear.
Van Gogh's ear in all of its glory, bleeding a little bit of chili relish here. It's pounded chicken wrapped around chicken livers, breaded, deep fried. Hard to tell if I'm a glutton for punishment or a glutton for pleasure. The mound of Salo is bigger than your head. Does that mean that there's too much salo on your plate?
No.
Salo sushi. Talk about fusion. We've got green onion, pork, pickle, and pumpernickel, all wrapped up in a thick layer of salo.
I like Japanese food, but I'm Ukrainian, so salo sushi, it's a good combination.
Well, I'll score it a 10 for interesting, but this dish would definitely send a Japanese sushi chef into cardiac arrest. Chocolates with a salo center. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised. If you look here, you see that the walls of this chocolate are actually pretty thick, and there's just a little bit of a salo center. Since this is dark chocolate, it's a bit bitter, and so the salo, it just adds a bit of creaminess and a bit of richness to it. That's really nice. What do you think?
It's tasty.
For me, this is one of the craziest restaurants that I've ever visited. But what do you think of it?
It's really good. We're sitting in the museum. Where in the world you can sit in the museum and eat something? Where?
Just
nowhere.
At Salo, you can have your art and eat it too. It's said that one man's trash is another man's treasures. But here at Tio's Tacos in Riverside, California, they turn their trash into art. Holy guacamole!
Tio's Tacos is my dream come true. I started this project 20 years ago.
And when it comes to creating his art, Martin's not afraid to get a little trashy.
I don't want to throw away nothing. You see inside the materials is shelled oyster, bottle.
This is all the garbage from the restaurant.
The garbage in the restaurant.
What's weird about this place, I could basically see that everything, even to walk to the restaurant, if you look down, you see objects. If you look up, you see objects. So you have to come more than once to see everything.
Do you come for the art or do you come for the food?
Well, our food at Tio's Tacos is authentic Mexican food with recipes made by my dad from Michoacan, Mexico.
I'd like to have a Cornitos tacos, the shrimp cocktail, the fried tilapia. I'm gonna try the menudo. And lastly, a chili relleno.
Anything else for you?
I think that's gonna be enough.
On second thought, a little homemade juice will make the perfect aperitif.
Horchata, which is the most popular one. It's rice water made with cinnamon and milk.
You can imagine how well this would go with spicy food, because it would really cool it down.
When I started in 1990, this is right here, this little place, this wall to here.
And how large is the entire property now?
Now I think it's a 1 acre.
You went from selling oranges on the side of the freeway to having a 1 acre complex. Talk about the great American dream. The next thing you bought was this house, and then you turned the front lawn of your house into an eating area for the restaurant.
And I put tables for enjoy my food in the front of my home. So mi casa es tu casa.
And absolutely anything in his home could end up in his art collection.
Now I get it. The reason the lawnmower's on the roof is because you no longer have a lawn.
Yeah, I don't have more right here. I put an armor in the roof.
But it's not just Martin's stuff that's up for grabs.
So one day, my mom picked me up from school, and she told me that my dad was cutting up my bike. So we were trying to rush home, and we got here, and the bike was already in the cement. Now that I see it, we like it.
So do you really come here for the food, or do you come here for the
No,
art?
I come for the food. Look at that shrimp cocktail thing we have.
Look at that. It's a generous portion of shrimp. You've got fish, scallops, crab down here. Oh, you got that spicy tomato sauce, fresh avocado, add a shot of vodka in there. It'd be my ultimate Bloody Mary.
People come for the food, but they also come for the environment. You don't go to another restaurant and see bottles stacked up in a figure. You don't have fountains everywhere. The whole relaxing feeling that my dad makes you feel when you're here.
I love this. You know, you would expect to see something like this in a museum of modern art, but here, it's just yet another little piece amidst an entire garden full of sculptures.
I like the chapel that's comprised of soda bottles, beer bottles.
I make this chapel for my wife.
People liked it, and people started asking if they could get married there. Check right now,
A real wedding in a chapel that's built out of bottles on a Mexican restaurant.
I do, with all my heart.
Now that's weird.
You can go ahead and kiss right.
Yes.
Look at this. This is stunning. An entire catfish, deep fried and smothered in a garlic sauce. Oh, that meat is so mild and tender. The skin is nice and crispy. And this garlic sauce, it's sweet, and at the same time, it's got some real bite to it, just like the fish itself.
This is an event. This is one of my favorite places to bring people on the planet.
Chili relleno is one of my all-time favorite Mexican dishes. Pasilla chili peppers stuffed with cheese, dipped in egg, dipped in breadcrumbs, and then fried. And finally, smothered in more cheese. The cheese inside is just so light and lovely. It's like a fresh Mexican ricotta. The chili, tiny bit of heat, but more sweet than heat. Put this all together, it's the perfect package.
Carnitas tacos.
Ah, carnitas, the ultimate litmus test for any Mexican restaurant. Cubes of pork shoulder simmered in juices and herbs, and when the liquids boil off, the remaining fat sears the meat until it's nice and crispy. Super flavorful. It all works together with this salsa. As litmus tests go, this one passes with flying colors. Do you ever dream that someday you'll just look at everything and go, you know what? It's done.
No.
So it's never gonna end.
Never even end.
This place just oozes creativity on the walls, on the floor, and on the plate.
I like that every time I drink a beer, I'm contributing to the art here.
After this experience, I'm never gonna look at garbage the same way again. When I think of Thai food, I think of tongue-twisting combinations of sweet and spicy and sour and salty. But here at the Fly Deck in Bangkok, they up the ante with one more ingredient, a little old-time rock and roll. This place is definitely broadcasting on my frequency. La Fly Deck is not just a restaurant, it's also the neighborhood radio station, broadcasting live from above the kitchen. DJs and chefs cook up a mix of golden oldies and Northeastern Thai cuisine.
Lumberjack Restaurant celebrates the era of transistor radio.
Look at this, there's a vintage transistor radio on every single table, and they're all tuned in to the same radio station, the one that broadcasts from just upstairs.
I brought a radio station into the restaurant because I believe music enhances the experience of eating.
Northeastern Thai food is the most popular food in Thailand.
Classic hits like chicken, fish, and duck are remixed with the bright flavors of lime, chili, garlic, and lemongrass.
Man, I could not be more excited. I am such a huge fan of Thai food. Look how gorgeous this hand-painted menu is.
It's full of chart toppers like green papaya salad, spicy asparagus, chicken soup, and deep-fried fish.
And my own little personal transistor radio. This place totally celebrates the golden era of the transistor radio. And everywhere you look, there are museum-quality examples of them.
I've been here a number of times. I always come for the papaya salad.
One of my all-time favorite Thai dishes. Shredded green papaya, tomatoes, a little bit of blue crab, cashews. It's all brought together with an incredible dressing made with garlic, chilies, lime juice, fish sauce. I mean, this thing just explodes in your mouth. I could eat plate after plate.
There's nowhere else in the world that you can have the restaurant with its own radio station.
Follow me, I want to find the secret radio station. He's on the air. Oh, look at this. This is obviously where it all happens. Elvis, the Beatles.
ทุกครั้งที่มาที่นี่ก็จะต้องขอเพลง Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
All this stuff is still really popular here in Thailand.
This is the kind of music I've loved since I was young. I've absorbed it, and it's become part of me.
It's a place that packed with memories in the 60s and 70s.
You know, it's really hard to believe that all this music, the old school technology, and the memorabilia is squeezed into this tiny little attic space. But all this really speaks volumes for one man's passion for the music and the radio of that era.
I come here a lot. I'm a big fan of the spicy fish salad and the lamb.
This is so great. I've always wanted to be a radio disc jockey. Good morning, Bangkok!
It's time for a request from Bob, who's asked for that hot new single, Spicy Thai Asparagus.
This is fantastic. I ordered some fried asparagus because I thought I'd get some healthy greens. And I see here that I have fried asparagus, some ginger and chilies, and some deep-fried pork skin. This is a beautifully wrapped bit of sticky rice. Just taking your fingers like this. As with all Thai dishes, it's the combination of the flavors that make the dish work. And in this case, this is incredibly spicy, but this beautifully wrapped, very sweet rice helps knock back the heat in your mouth. The flavor of this dish, right off the dial. So, where's your transmitter? Can I take a look? Yes. It's totally like pirate radio. You have to move the photocopier to get to the transmitter. Your antenna, the transmitter running through it, and there you can even see the number of 107.5.
And this next one is dedicated to those guys out on Klung Kum Boulevard having an arm wrestle. It's boiling hot chicken soup.
Goodness gracious, great bowls of fire. Gotta look underneath this. No wonder this cauldron is bubbling. There's morning glory, Thai eggplant, baby eggplant, spices, chilies, huge chunks of chicken. I mean, this is the right combination to go straight to the top of the charts.
Setting a record for the number of years in the top 10 is this hit, deep-fried fish roe.
Look at this presentation. The fish has been cut off the bone, battered, deep-fried, and then presented back on the plate again with the fish that it came from. I have two different sauces to dip my fried fish into. Ant eggs, and the other is ham and tomatoes. These are deep-fried fish eggs. You can always take the fish eggs and dip them in the ant eggs for a little Thai surf and turf.
We are a home for lovers of this kind of music and our special Northeast Thai cuisine. Now people can come to La Fly Deck and enjoy it all together.
This is DJ Bob from Bangkok, Thailand, reminding you to stay tuned for more walk and roll.
If you're good with an axe, like log rolling, tree climbing, and hearty home-cooked meals, then you're definitely gonna wanna hang out at the Lumberjack Feud Restaurant, right here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. That was unbelievable.
The Lumberjack Feud is a $50 dinner and show extravaganza where two families, the Dawsons and the McGraws, compete for the sole logging rights to the Smoky Mountain National Park.
We're here at the Lumberjack Feud. Half the crowd is the Dawson family, half the crowd is the McGraw family.
Find me another restaurant where everybody in the whole place is your cousin.
And I just don't like Dawson's. We don't like McGraw's.
Those Dawsons, you just can't trust them.
McGraw's, they are no good, snake in the grass, moose turd eating thieves.
Well, the feud sounds pretty authentic, but how about the food?
We wanted the meal to be that rugged camp meal.
And they go all out, too, with some tasty Southern favorites.
Our menu consists of 3-bone rib, oven-roasted chicken breast, cheesy macaroni and cheese, baked beans, strawberry shortcake, and a dinner roll.
Looks like I get to join the pros. I've been put on Team Dawson.
Let the games begin! What team's gonna win? That's the real deal. These guys mean serious business. They were whacking each other over the head with those sticks.
As the loggers do battle, the diners are served up some hearty grub.
All right, I got you some dinner here, buddy.
Sweet.
Never had my dinner served from my picnic basket, but it was pretty good.
You got mac and cheese, baked beans, roast chicken, and ribs. Now, this is what I call a picnic.
That's great. Good country cooking.
Very nice. Beans have a little bit of bite to them. The sauce, there's definitely some brown sugar and molasses in there. It's really sweet. And it's all finished off with a little bit of pulled pork on top. That'll keep a lumberjack swinging his axe. This wall, you've got the bios and backstories of all the lumberjacks that appear in the feud. A lot of these guys are world champions.
This is the most competitive entertainment show in the world.
Look at this. To do this well, you've got to throw a 10-pound axe with the precision of a dart. Oh! Bullseye!
All right, I'm gonna show you the basics of how to throw this axe. I'm gonna show you one, and then you're gonna try it.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh!
Bob, the object is to hit the middle of the target, not to cut the climbing pole down. Look at that.
Go. We got stuff to do today, Bob.
Oh! I think this lumberjack stuff is a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. Come for the food, stay for the feud. So tell me about the ribs.
Real good.
These ribs, tender, they fall right off the bone.
And look at that. They just fall apart in your hands. It's so tender. The flavors are so deep. The sauce has got that sweet tanginess that you really love. Man, I'm gonna tear through this like a chainsaw in a tree trunk.
Boy, them ribs, them are the best eating ribs you ever had. And the bird hadn't flown away yet. I'll get it in a minute.
Oh, look at this. A nice plump chicken breast, dusted with herbs. It's moist, it's juicy, it's tender. You certainly don't need a saw to cut through it.
Strawberry shortcake is the ball.
And look at this mason jar. This is exactly how a dessert would have been served to a logger, yet at the same time, So contemporary. It's like the best piece of pound cake slathered with a beautiful sweet strawberry jam and topped with whipped cream. Can't find a sweeter way than this to end a meal. It all comes down to this last log roll. It's gonna decide it all. Well, dagnabbit, the McGraws win. But before we leave the Smoky Mountains, it's my turn to defend the Dawson family honor as I take on a member of the McGraw clan.
Now let's cheer him on. Is it gonna be Bob Dawson? 1, 2, go! Come on, go!
I like the tree climbing.
Yeah, I'll probably come back soon again.
Climbing the tree, that was freaking cool.
It's absolutely fabulous.
We're coming back. We can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Come on, Dawson and McGraw. And Bob, here is your honorary lumberjack helmet. Thank you so much.